teacher, as what I told you, long patience should be there in the heart. And you have to let those students with poor comprehension to understand even a part of your discussion. So it's not totally making them understand the whole or the entire topic, but a part of it will do. That when they go home, when their parents ask them what did you learn from your teacher, so even the topic when they say I learned about part of speech, so I think that they grasp or they gather information from the discussion of the teacher.
Are there any other way of how to deal with students having difficulties?
Oh yes, I've been a very supportive English teacher because what they feel was the exact feeling I felt when I was in high school. Because aside from being a very quiet student, I also had difficulty in speaking and even writing in English, or even using it in any form of communication. But I took it as a challenge. In fact, when I was in high school, it was my lowest grade English subjects. But I got, it's not up with my chair, but I got 89. But I hated math during that time. But when I was in college, I took it as a challenge. When I was in college, I took it as a challenge to take up English as my major. And I am open for improvements. Despite the fact that it's my 7th year teaching, I also do it with my students, that I make it a point that they will learn from me. Because that's my payment for the hard work that I do for them, is to see them learning from me as an English teacher, as a young English teacher.
So how do you respond to some instances when your students commit language errors?
I respond in a very positive way. Not to the point that they're going to get rejected. Because I think being a teacher, seeing your students having difficulty, it is better for you to be approachable. It is better for you to look good or even to look pleasant. Because we know students who have difficulty, they are very much afraid dealing with their teachers. Especially if they are somewhat terror or even strict. I think those attitudes or even characteristics of a teacher will not help the students to learn. So we have to push them, we have to encourage them more when they commit difficulties or when they commit errors. Right away you give corrections in a very positive way. Not to the point that they will be offended.
Sir, I'd like to know more about your traits as an English teacher. So, can you give me a characteristic of an ideal English teacher?
I don't set myself as an ideal teacher, but of course, every English teacher has his or her own characteristics. Students will like you, students will not like you, but of course, as an English teacher, you have to be, me as an English teacher, I also deal with them not as an English teacher, but as someone who can help them improve their abilities in English. I need to say, I am not a strict teacher, I am not a terror teacher, I don't demand that much, because I know how difficult it is for them to speak or even to use the language. So I am always there to push them, to forget that English is a crazy language, English makes me crazy. Instead, I encourage them because when you learn it, it's a good feeling that aside from Filipino language, you are also capable of using the second language, which is English. And I think you will feel that you are competitive enough dealing with the other people, especially those who are ambitious and those who are planning to go abroad. So the use of the language that they have learned from their high school or college life, I think it's a plus factor for them. I encourage them a lot, I push them to the limits, for them to learn in English.
And do you see certain grade of students in taking this
yes, because they like other subjects more than English. And as what I hear them always saying to me, that English, sir, is a very difficult subject. I cannot speak in English well, I cannot write in English with correct grammar, so what am I supposed to do, sir? So I always tell them that there is always a place for practice. That for you to be able to learn, you have to practice, you have to have the willingness within your heart, so nobody else will do it for you, but yourself. Even me, before becoming an English teacher, I had also 1,000 of difficulties, but I was able to overcome all of them because I am willing to learn. Yun lang. But you have to be willing, you have to love what you're doing, so learning will be there.
Yes, it will end up our conversation. So thank you for sharing your insights.
Welcome.
And substantial reviews regarding our interview and some questions we have prepared. And I believe this will help us also as second-year students as we take this course very much ahead of us. We will become future mentors and teachers also. Thank you very much and
Welcome, always welcome.